Sanbanani Southern Africa, Sanbanani Far Eastern Catholic News. This is Kati Dijane, and I am so excited to be crossing all the way live from the Archdiocese of Johannesburg, my home Archdiocese of Johannesburg. Last time I said my home Archdiocese of Cape Town in our first interview, so I just wanted to make sure that today I am correct. But I am very excited to be bringing this interview to you, our dear viewers, because it's a very important one. We just wanted to do a catch-up session with our new Archbishop of Johannesburg, and we just wanted to find out how he is settling into the Archdiocese. But most importantly, he recently also came back from the consistory with His Holiness Pope Leo and other cardinals. So we just wanted to briefly find out about how the trip went. But before that, just a bit of background or context. So I woke up to a cloudy morning this morning, and I was happy, Baba, because I was like, yes, it is confirmed that I'll be speaking with Ntate Motlalipula. So I was like, yes, everything is confirmed. So with that said, Baba, I just would like to take things first. Before we speak about how you have settled into the Archdiocese of Johannesburg, you came back from the consistory with, among, if Uncle Google is correct, it said that 175 cardinals were a part of the consistory. And I just wanted to find out, before I find out, thank you so much for taking part of the media briefing, because we did ask you to be amongst the cameras. And then you took part of the media briefing that happened after the consistory. Out of curiosity, Baba, were you asked to do it, or did you volunteer to be a part of it?
Thank you very much, Kati, and thank you for inviting me to be part of this interview, and greetings to all the viewers of this interview. It's really lovely to be with you once again, and it's lovely to be back in South Africa after about a week in Rome for the consistory. No, I did not volunteer to be part of the press briefing. I was approached and requested to be part of it, as the other two cardinals were requested as well. So it was quite an amazing event, if you like, because I initially thought that the press briefing would be at 6 o'clock, and they later corrected that. They said no, it would be at 8 o'clock. And so we had ended the consistory session at 7 o'clock, and we went up to the Catholic for communications. And there was a bit of a delay, so we only started at about 8:45, I think. And we finished at about 11:15 or something like that.
Okay. Yes. Some of the questions you were asked were on the topic of synodality.
Yes.
And it's one of the 4 topics on the agenda, of which you spoke of 2, yes. Which was evangelization as well as the synodality.
Correct.
Personally, for me, what I would like to find out, Baba, is what were the vibes or the mood when that issue was discussed? Because I know that many people are not on the same page when it comes to synodality. So how are the cardinals generally viewing synodality in order for it to be trickling down across the world, and especially into our local churches?
Yes, I think the topic of synodality was chosen. You do understand that of the 4 topics, we had to then go into groups to decide which 2 topics we thought should be spoken about because of the limitations of time. And I would think virtually every one of those groups chose synodality for different reasons. I think some were, as you say, had doubts about synodality and how appropriate it is, and others had the concern that perhaps there would be an attempt to ditch synodality, if you like, to stop it, the whole process of synod on synodality. But my experience of the discussion with it was that it was very respectful. Divergent views were expressed, but what came out of it is that there was a feeling, I think, from the majority, was that there just needs to be more clarification about it. Particularly, how does the Synod on synodality relate to the Synod of Bishops? How does it relate in terms of the hierarchy of the Catholic Church and so on? So I think that the appeal was to say, can we get greater clarification? But the consensus, as far as I could see, was that certainly we want the Synod on synodality to continue and to be successful. I do know that some things have been quoted recently in the press. I must be absolutely honest. I never heard some of those things being mentioned, even though they say it was in the general intervention. Now, perhaps my mind was somewhere else, I don't know. But to be honest, I never gathered that some of the harsher things have been said as reported in the press.
Okay. And then from the Vatican and straight to the Archdiocese of Johannesburg, which is the purpose of this interview, Baba, is it's been a year now. January is exactly a year now. We're celebrating or marking 1 year into this Archdiocese. If you can share with us how you have settled into this Archdiocese as we are marking 1 year of you being there.
Look, it's been absolutely momentous here. First of all, my being appointed to Johannesburg came very unexpectedly to me, and so that was a very big thing of having to tie up loose ends in Cape Town, to move to Johannesburg and to start to get to know people. And of course, soon after that, Pope Francis passed away. I attended the funeral, and that was followed by the conclave and then the installation of Pope Leo XIV. And all these things were happening in a year when I was trying to find my feet in Johannesburg. The fact that I was asked to be Apostolic Administrator of Cape Town, to continue that, and of course I took over the presidency of the Bishops' Conference as well. So it has really been quite an intense year. But I have been extraordinarily well received in Johannesburg. I feel very happy in Johannesburg. Of course I miss Cape Town. Do I have that feeling? The people that I worked with for 15 years, I do miss them. But I've adjusted to Johannesburg, and I found it to be such a wonderful experience of witnessing the depth of faith in the parish communities that I visited, the depth of faith among so many young people, and the love for the church that people have. And this has really been so inspiring for me, that I've immediately just felt that I'm in the right place at the right time.
And this is the third diocese that you are shepherding. And what would you say are some of those experiences that you have that you will utilize to help move this archdiocese forward? And I'm also asking in the context of for us to get to maybe know and understand your leadership style and how you would prefer for us to work together as our Archbishop. So if you can maybe share some of the tools that you've learned as a bishop previously and how you would utilize them to move this archdiocese forward.
Thank you. I feel a little bit as if I'm an unfaithful person, having had 3 dioceses, and I've loved each and every one of them. Loved my home diocese of Kroonstad, loved Cape Town, and I'm in love with Johannesburg now. I've learned a lot, obviously, through my almost 43 years of priesthood and as a bishop. And what I think the most important thing that one learns is that places differ. And Kroonstad is very different from Cape Town. Cape Town is very different from Johannesburg. And when you go into a new place, you can't really come with fixed ideas. You've got to come in with an attitude and openness to learning and to getting to know people, to getting to know how things operate, and so on. For me, I think one of the most important things in coming into Johannesburg is to build up communication. Johannesburg is a very large diocese, about 1.1 million Catholics, I'm told, with a lot of parishes, a lot of different organizations, religious congregations, and so many very good initiatives. And we need to have the systems of communication among all of us so that we not only know each other, not only know what's going on, but also that we do understand each other as well. I think for my own leadership style, I really want to listen to people. I think that the Synod on Synodality comes at a very appropriate time for me coming into Johannesburg, because it is about listening to people and learning from people, and to try, insofar as possible, to pave the way forward jointly, as in unison with each other, and to try to encourage initiatives that people have. Like your Catholic News and Catholic Voices. This is a wonderful initiative, and to give it as much encouragement as possible. Of course, we've also got to get to know personalities, and people need to get to know my personality, and I've got to get to know people's personality. That will take a little bit of time. But I do think that there is such a tremendous amount of good in Johannesburg, so many good priests, so many gifted people, that we must really tap into those gifts as much as possible to try to build communion in the church. Living in South Africa, it's a very unfortunate fact that in many respects we're still quite divided. There's not the official division among people, but it's natural, of course, people tend to stick to their own culture or whatever. But we've also got to find ways of breaking down that, because we are one Catholic Church and we need to build up that community for being the Catholic Church. That's a great challenge for the future, not only for Johannesburg, but for South Africa in general.
And also, there are so many caps you are wearing, but as you did mention that you are now the current president of the SACBC, and there are many various things that you are doing. I mean, also at the Vatican, you are now part of 2 diocese, and you are still getting to know this archdiocese, which you did mention that it is quite big. How do you manage to give attention to everything, but also at the same time taking care of your well-being, your health, and your mental wellness?
Yes, it is a lot, and of course I depend on a lot of other people to take the load off me. So, for example, in Cape Town, Bishop Sylvester David has been there, the auxiliary bishop, and he's taken care of most of the pastoral side. I've gone to Cape Town every month for the more administrative issues. And I think so delegation is very important, and as I've said, we've got very competent people. I do take a day off every week. That doesn't mean I stop working, but it means I do things a little bit at my own pace. And I've got 2 dogs. I love to take them for a walk as well, and they love that too. So I do take care of myself as well. But a lot depends on the grace of God. And God does give us the grace and the strength to do it. We've just got to be able to trust Him as well, to work through us and to get us through things. I have applied for auxiliary bishops, and I truly hope that will be possible in Johannesburg. Certainly, auxiliary bishop is needed here. So I think, it's working with people that enables us. When I go away, for example, to Rome, the staff at the Chancellery really rally around to make sure that things continue and go as it is. But one thing I really try to do is not to sacrifice time with people with administrative issues. So, for example, I'm here on a type of retreat with our seminarians, and I've spent the time with them. There's a little bit of me saying I should be in the Chancellery doing something, but I think it's very important to be able to take time with people. So I like to go to the parishes after Mass to have a cup of coffee or something, as long as it's all ready and that sort of thing. But to be with people. I love being with people.
Yes, and the second last question I have for you, Baba, is how would you describe or define your role as the president of the SACBC? And I'm asking this in context of we are celebrating a big milestone, 75 years of the hierarchy, the establishment of the church in Southern Africa. And as the president of the SACBC, what would you say is your role? What does it entail? And for the person who still kind of feels like, okay, I hear of SACBC, but I'm quite not sure how I can relate to it as an ordinary parishioner. Maybe if you can share with us, in addition to defining your role, if you can just share with that lay person who still feels like the SACBC is quite very far.
Thanks very much, Kati. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful opportunity now for us as church to celebrate these 75 years of the establishment of the hierarchy, which really means the establishment of the structure of the church, in many ways of the dioceses and so on. So it really is a wonderful occasion, because I think the church in Southern Africa, and South Africa in particular, is now reaching a mature stage. And you can see it, I think, that in civil society as well, the Catholic Church has been far more appreciated, I think, in recent years as we come to the sort of maturity of our faith. So I think that we must celebrate this, and we must look to the future of saying, how can we strengthen the faith as much as possible in the circumstances we find ourselves, and the tremendous challenges and problems that South Africa faces of poverty, unemployment, the corruption and so on. How can we witness to Christ, to the primary commandment of love, love of God and love of our neighbor. How can we work towards a society that is just and equitable for all people? How can we reach out to those who are suffering? So these are the challenges that the country faces and we face, but to bring Christ into the voice of Christ into people, to give them hope and to give them the courage to face the future. In terms of my role as president, I must acknowledge from the start the role of the two vice presidents who have really taken an enormous load off my shoulders. And again, I've had to ask, I've had to delegate things to them and ask them to take on certain things. So to Archbishop Mambani and Archbishop Tuacha, they really have given me a tremendous amount of assistance in this. So I think that as we will be meeting again in the plenary session next week, we're going to be looking, I think, at the 4 issues that came up at the consistory, and also to see how we can continue into the future of strengthening the faith, even though a lot of our institutions have closed already, but are beginning also to face uncertain futures. But the church is not about institutions alone, and it's about how we can strengthen our faith. And I think we do, just going to the parishes, as I said, you can see the strength of faith. So I'm very hopeful for the future.
Speaking of future, the last question I have is, we just wrapped up the Jubilee of Hope. How was your hope personally revived during so many celebrations that took place from the Vatican, even here to Southern Africa? So how was your hope revived, and what is your continued message of hope to people watching this?
All the celebrations are wonderful. The way we prayed for hope, the way we said that we've got to be instruments of hope for other people. But I think my hope and my strengthening of my hope comes from far more simple things. It's not the celebrations, it's not the prayers. Well, the prayers of course do help it. It's very often just encounters with people. You can encounter somebody in a parish, in Cornwall, a widow or whatever, who's struggling, going through difficult times, and yet is smiling and happy and joyful and trusting in God. And it's so often just to see that faith of people, even in the time of trauma, of suffering, the faith and the trust that people have in God, that inspires hope in us as well. And I think it's also a lesson for us that, we mustn't go around as if we've got the weight of the world on our shoulders, that we must also, even in our problems, to have joy, to bring joy to people. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think just personally, it's really very often just the encounters with ordinary people that inspire hope.
And the message of hope?
And my message of hope is, let's look to the future together as the Catholic Church in Southern Africa, united with Pope Leo, who is giving us such tremendous leadership, and we face the future and we try to continue to build the church and to build the kingdom of God.
Thank you so much, Baba, for such a great interview. And I am sure you did look a bit shocked.
Well, I was amazed to see these things.
You can bring something, a token of saying thank you to our new Archbishop here in Johannesburg. It's our way of personally saying thank you for saying yes to come to Johannesburg and for leading us. And personally, I would like to say I will continue praying for you.
Thank you.
And your leadership. So this is a small and it's from our pocket money.
It looks like a very, very big gift. Wow, Tami, thank you so much. That is beautiful. Can I show everybody what this is?
You can show them.
Thank you
we really hope you like it.
I am absolutely sure this is wonderful. You can see from the shape of it that this is a mitre.
Yes.
And we're going to just take it out of its cover. And this is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much.
That is so splendidly beautiful.
And then we just also did your coat of arms as well, just for that personal touch.
Thank you very much at the labels. These actually are meant to represent the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the bishop normally wears the mitre when he's fulfilling his teaching role, as well as liturgical. And so when people in the parishes see me wearing this mitre, you'll know where it came from. Thank you so much. Have you just got it?
Yes, Rabbi. And then this, because we know you have a sweet tooth,
Thank
it's just
you.
to give you strength.
Thank you. And it's going to make me a little bit fatter, I think. So, again, if I get fat, you know where it came from.
Yes, sir. Give me a time first.
Thank you very much, Tani. Thank you for a good advice.
Thank you very much for
Okay.
everything.
Thank you very much, Kati. Continue the good work, because really you inspire people so much and you give so much hope to many people. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Until the next video, guys, take care. God bless, and I love you so much.
God bless.
Thank you.